Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Second grade team. All right, so do we have any celebrations? If anybody would like to share?
I am just glad that my letters is almost over. That's it.
Okay,
Got
so
one more session.
okay, Rechtenwald.
Like them on repeat. And
That's
you all hear that
definitely
all
a
the time.
celebration.
So you have one more session of letter
Yes,
training?
Yes.
Good.
I'm done for it.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? I counted down. I think we are at like 49 more days
Yeah.
with students.
Yeah. My son's counting down every day. Mommy,
My daughter told me that yesterday. She said, I've got 50 more days left of being an 8th grader.
Okay.
And I guess it's a celebration though. She's got straight A's, so.
Well, that's
Mine
good.
too. I'm so
My 8th grader
happy.
has straight A's and my 9th grader has A and B honor roll. So
That's awesome.
I know I will take it. Yes. Oh,
My son has a straight A.
really? Yes. That's so good. That's so good.
That's good.
That's so
And
good.
JCTMS. And
Yes.
Oh, see a
good.
JCTMS?
That's so good.
Okay,
and
good.
OA.
Yes.
That's a celebration.
That is a celebration.
Yay!
That is a celebration. Yes. Good.
Well, all right, guys. So we are going to get started. So in your PLC folder in the shared drive, it'll say 2 PLC, then 3 6. So while you all are looking for that, oh, you're fine. While you all are doing that, I'll go ahead and just read your team norms. So we're going to leave space for inquiry, intentional with meeting consistently, open mindset, show up prepared, physically, mentally, emotionally, and we're going to be data driven and research based decision making. Can you find it?
Yes, I'm there.
Oh, okay.
I find it.
Oh, okay. It's in the shared drive in your PLC and then second grade.
You got to go to grade level PLC, then second grade.
Okay, so we are,
And then when I go to second grade, where do I go? It's under there. It's
Agenda.
labeled 2 PLC 36. If you can't find it, just type it in on the top in the search bar.
Okay.
okay, so today I'm just going to follow the same format that you've been doing in your PLCs, and we're under the plan portion of the agenda, and we're going to do backwards planning for your next IM unit, which is Unit 5.
So glad to be on a new unit. We're going
Almost done.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the goal for this new unit that you all are moving to is numbers to 1,000. And so the goal is that students are going to extend their understanding of place value. They're now moving on to 3-digit numbers. And so that's on your agenda. And then if you look under the backwards planning, I've listed the standards that are going to be covered in this Unit 5.
So it's mostly A. It's A1 through 4, and then we go to B8.
Yes, so let's see. All right, so what we're going to do today, so we're going to do the backwards planning, and I figured we would just do section A since you have section A and B and there's 14 lessons. Just for time's sake, I figured we wouldn't get through sections A and B, so we can just do section A, and then so we'll first just take our section A checkpoint. So if you look in your folder, there is a grade 2 this assessment that they're going to take, the Section A checkpoint. So we're going to take this first, and then we're going to talk about the skills that they're going to need to be successful with, you know, being proficient on this assessment.
Okay.
Okay.
You wanted one, Miss Mensa? Miss Jackson isn't here, so you can look in her folder if you want to. Okay. So Miss Mensa, we're just gonna do backwards planning of their Unit 5 that they're moving on to for IM.
Okay.
And then right now they're taking the assessment that the kids will take at the end of Section A.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so for problem 1, it says select 2 representations of 200. So what do you all notice about that first question?
2 representations, so that we need to make sure that they understand to select 2.
Two answers, yes.
Yes.
And it's 200. So
Yeah.
Right.
3-digit number.
Mm-hmm.
So,
0, 10, 0, 0, 1. Sure.
They're probably reiterate that too, because they're just used to selecting one answer. So make sure that we say you're choosing 2 answers.
Right.
2 letters, yes.
okay.
They don't have highlighters.
Or yellow crayon. Yeah.
Mhm.
Select 2.
Yes.
And I can tell their eyes are going to go first to D. That's the obvious answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they'll go to D.
Mhm.
The other one, that's when they're going to have to
Count.
Count, make sure
count
they're
each
counting.
one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So make sure you're counting.
Which
Give a
would
reminder.
be B. Because there's
Yes.
10 tens.
Mhm.
So that's going to be a skill that you'll have to practice with them
Yeah.
Yes.
during your lessons, is showing the multiple ways to show numbers.
Breaking back out those manipulatives.
Mm-hmm. Does everybody have the base 10 blocks to 100? Do you have the 100 ones?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got them in
Okay. So the answer will be D, the 200s.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I have to get the 2 of them.
Okay. Hey, Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson, I have a folder for you, but I'm letting Miss Mensa look at it too.
We don't look at it together.
Okay.
We're both looking at it.
Okay, so the other answer would be
Miss Jackson,
their,
go over there with your folder.
so the other answer choice for the problem 1 would be the base 10, the hundreds, and then the 10s to 10 tens.
Yes.
Okay.
B and D.
And they shouldn't have any problem with this yet. I think there's
Yeah,
going to be
Mhm.
we
easy to
did
them.
a lot
Yeah.
in our morning work.
Okay. Has anybody already moved on to hundreds?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
A little
good.
bit, yeah.
Okay, so they should have some background knowledge on that already. Okay, good. I know in math lab, I've been having them play a little game, a place value game,
Mhm.
where they actually have the numbers 0 through 9 in a bag, and then they have a little place value mat, and they actually have to draw a number one at a time, and they have to place it in ones, tens, or hundreds, and then whoever builds the bigger number,
Yeah.
they win that round.
Mm.
So they're already being exposed to the hundreds.
That
Yeah.
is illegal.
Mhm.
We got those numeral cards.
Mhm.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, or they love that. They love the dice too.
The
Oh,
dice,
So
yeah.
if you give them
Yes.
3 dice, because that day we only had to do 2, I let mine go ahead and move on to 3 dice. They rolled 3, and it was like 243, and then they
Yeah.
compared the other one to 300 or whatever. So they were comparing that way.
Okay.
But,
So I'm just gonna put on the agenda like an instructional strategy for that would be to allow them to play like little place value games
mhm.
with the cards or the dice.
Yeah.
Something that we used to
Also-
do that
yeah,
was
go ahead.
kind of old school, but we used to have a number of the day, and so they would have to write it, the word, word for the number, draw the number, what would be the next number, like add one more number, subtract the number, so it was like number of the day, so that could be something that we could do
Yes.
occasionally, and they could just draw in their notebook,
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay. So I'll put that
Mhm.
I'll put that on there too. All
And
right.
another good one to add to that is just that there are virtual manipulatives now with IM. So if you all wanted to show something with the blocks instead of bringing your blocks out and just showing them that way, you can move them on the screen.
Okay.
So
Okay. Does everybody know how to get to that
No.
on
I saw it.
IM?
She showed us
At our PLC, but
it
I'm
was
not
like
sure.
very quick. I couldn't like
Yeah.
see
We should pull that up.
We have to
Share.
explore from
Yeah.
open
Okay.
resources,
Yes.
right?
Oh, but it's in
Yeah.
open resource. We can get to it.
Mm.
Okay,
Open
okay,
resources,
all right.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll just put on here using the Open Up Resources website.
Mhm.
Okay.
You can even do it in the search bar. If you just do go to the search button and just type in virtual manipulatives, it'll
Okay.
come up that way.
So you can move it on the screen?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
cool.
it's interactive.
Nice.
So like they'll all be over here and you can move them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right, so let's look at problem 2. So it says, what value do these blocks represent?
So they need to understand that word value because they are getting it confused.
Okay, so let's underline value, and then, so when you all are teaching that lesson, just be very explicit and maybe put that word value on, if you have a word wall or something like that, be very explicit with
Mhm.
teaching the meaning of the word value.
Well, like this one will be easy because it says the whole number. Like, what is this whole number? What's its value? But like when you have the number like 293, they might ask, what's the value of the 9? And they'll say
Mhm.
9. No, it's not. It's in the middle. It's in
Mhm.
10, so it's 90.
Right.
So that's why the value is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they get like
So what I noticed about problem 2 is that they have a part A and B,
Mm-hmm.
and that they have to be able to write their answer using numbers,
Mhm.
and then B is write their answer using words.
words.
So what I did for you in your folders, well, I got something for you guys. Okay,
Not the
so
words.
in your folders, you
Yes.
can
Love it.
actually make
Yeah,
this.
I have all
Okay.
the way to 20.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
just need to add.
Miss Thomas
Yeah.
made us that packet. And
Okay,
she
good.
Put that in
In the
there in
dictionary.
the dictionary. It's in the beginning. Yep.
So you can. What I did in my classroom, I made this really big on an anchor chart.
Yes.
But then you could also, when you copy these, you could
Mhm.
make this smaller where it's 2 on a page. So you don't have to use as much paper, and they could have a little small version in, like, if they have a math notebook.
Mhm.
That's a good strategy for them to be able to spell the words
Right.
when they have to write it out.
Okay.
So then I also made you all a place value reference sheet. And then that way they have, you can show them the 3 ways that they can show a number. So there's standard
Yeah,
form.
that's cool too. If it's like
Mhm.
angle charts.
Yes.
It should be like
I can blow this up for a poster.
Yeah, this would be a great
Yeah.
poster.
Good poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have standard form, word form, and then expanded form that they're going to have to know.
Mhm.
So that's problem 3, is that they're moving on to, they have to represent 492 using expanded form. So they have to know that skill and words. So.
And they're going to come across a problem on 12 because if you notice, there's 100, but when you count the tens, there's 12 tens.
Mhm.
So they're going to have to understand that they have to circle 10 of those and make another 100.
Is it on problem 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. That's a good observation. I didn't even notice that. Okay, so does everybody see that, Ms. Jackson, on problem 2? It's like 12 tens. Okay.
So like something I would do,
2 tens and then
yeah,
1.
I have them circle it like that, and I would draw an arrow going over to there to where they make another.
Make
Make
another
another
100.
100,
Mhm.
Yeah.
That way they're not double counting.
And also for the ones as well,
Yep, I just noticed that too.
Mhm.
because they're going to have to make basically circle 10 ones
Yeah.
because
This
there's
is
basically 23.
23, yeah.
Yes, so they're
They
going to do the
have
same
to
thing
make
for the ones.
Okay.
One,
as well.
10.
Yeah.
One,
So as a
10.
team, is that going to be your strategy that you're going to show them this way? So like circle when they're able to make a 10 to
Mhm.
circle it and then
Yes.
draw an arrow and then make their hundreds.
Yes.
Okay. Can y'all see that, Miss Mensa, back there? Okay. Okay.
Which means we need to tell them the same thing when they're adding and subtracting. We always have them start in the ones place.
Uh-huh.
Reiterate.
Yeah, we
ones
already
place.
done that before. When it gets
Yes.
to 10, you're gonna transfer it to the 10 because
Yes.
it's no longer ones. You make the same thing with the tens, 200s.
And this is really an important skill for them because when I'm working with my 5th grade group, I'm showing them the box method for multiplication, and they have to know that expanded form when they're, taking their numbers and breaking it apart. So they're going to need this.
Son in 4th grade right now.
Mhm. So if they build that foundation in 2nd grade, they'll be more prepared when they move to 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So really, for what skills, so basically there for your checkpoint A, you have 3 problems. And so what skills do we need to teach in section A to make sure they're successful on this assessment?
When subtraction, you're decomposing. So on this, you could call it regrouping from each section, from each ones to tens, and from tens to hundreds. So they're going to have to be
Okay.
doing that for sure. It's a
Tens
big one.
to hundreds. Okay.
We're probably gonna have to do some problems like this because
Yes.
Yeah.
they won't be able to figure this out.
Practice.
Yes,
Yeah.
def-
Yeah.
yes.
Also, expanded form and word form, they should already know that, but going back over it, so review.
So you all did that skill with 2-digit numbers.
Yes,
So
yeah.
1s and 10s.
Yes.
Okay. So they've already have some background knowledge on that.
Mhm.
Okay. So expanded form, they need to know word form. Okay.
And then the word value, just
Okay.
making sure that they understand.
Okay, so I'm going to say explicitly teach the word value.
And I don't know how deep we'll get into this, but like I've always done, like what's the value of a digit, and then there's the value of a number. So like a number is made up of digits. So like a 3, if you have 342, there's 3 digits, but those 3 digits make up a number. 3 is a digit, 4 is a digit, 2 is a digit. So each of those have a value. So, but I don't know if that gets into that. I know that was big in 3rd grade, so I
Mhm.
just don't know how far we get into that with this section.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we looked at our section A checkpoint. I showed you all some of the resources that you could use in your classroom. And then there's also, I made you all a copy of this. This could go on a word wall too. It's the word, it's showing them what standard form looks like.
Yes.
Showing them what the
Yeah, I'm
base
gonna put those on the
10.
math word wall right there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Are you coming to get me?
No.
Oh.
Oh, it's mine because I have a parent coming in.
Oh, okay. Okay, so they're ready for me now?
Well, yeah, let's, you're right, it's good, we're,
Okay.
You have a meeting? Oh, okay.
Okay, ladies, all right.
All right, so I did put a link. So I started you all off on your backwards planning for Unit 5, and there's a link on your agenda. So if you could just click the link. Did it work?
Just give us access.
Okay, there it goes. Oh, okay.
Alright, sorry ladies, I'll see you.
Oh, that's okay. Let me update the access.
Is that it? It says I am Unit 5?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just wait a second before you click
Oh,
it.
okay.
She's gonna give us access to
Amber, what's your
which one.
My mind hurts.
Amber.Recton 2.
oh,
I have a parent coming in because the kid is acting
Yeah.
out.
did I? Okay, I did too. Okay, good. Miss Shahid, what's your email address? Can you spell it one more time for me? Oh, I found you. There you go. Okay. And then Miss Williams, what's yours?
My what?
Your email address?
Oh, Marquita.Williams, Markita.
Okay. There you go.
Yes.
I found you. And then Miss Jackson is Shirley. Okay, there's Miss Jackson. Okay. And now you all should be able to edit this.
So there.
Okay. Just let me know when you're there.
I'm good, but I'm opening up our workbook too, so
Okay.
you have an idea of what's coming up.
And I brought Miss Thomas's
Oh, this is
her
Unit 5.
teacher manual.
I gotta get the new one.
Okay.
Because we're gonna be moving on.
So yeah, you're moving on to your book will be 5 and 6. Do you have it, Miss Williams, your teacher manual? Okay. Miss Jackson, do you have it?
No, I just came out from the bar.
Okay, that's okay.
No, you
So-
have it in your room.
In your room, so whenever you're ready to start teaching it, you'll move on to units 5 and 6, okay? So this one. Okay. Got a new book.
I think I have it.
It'll be our last book.
Yeah.
Is it still in the box? Is it in a box?
I unpacked mine, so,
I
but yeah,
unpacked
if
my
you don't
last
have
box, I
it, yeah.
think.
Okay. All right, so in section A, you're going to have 7 lessons. All right, so like the first lesson is going to cover 2 MBT A1, and it's how do we compose hundreds. So that's when you're going to just first start introducing them to hundreds. And so you'll talk about how, 10 tens make 100. You can also go back and review your 10 ones make a 10, go through all those instructional strategies. Now, one thing I noticed when I was looking at you all's lessons, a lot of the goals talk about orally. So I would say that one thing to really explicitly teach is have them be able to explain their thinking in words, because a lot of times they'll just write their answer down.
Yes.
So one way that you could do that is do a lot of the turn and talks. And if you put a problem on the board, or with your number talks, put a problem on the board, let them turn and talk to a friend, and then they could explain how they made their number.
Right.
And so that's going to go back to that question where they have to show 2 ways.
Yes.
So if they're both explaining their strategy of how they made the number,
Right.
and then explain it orally. So
And
Okay.
that's what another good thing when you're doing it orally is I've been telling my kids, because all of us talked about this last time. Explain has been extremely difficult for our kids. So we're telling them, because in their answers they have to actually explain in words too. So whatever you say to that person, like you're talking, write what you say. Like literally write what you say. So
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Right? It's a challenge.
So I'm going to put on here that students need to be able to write and explain
Okay.
their thinking.
yeah, because on their assessment it always says explain, and they
Explain,
have
yeah.
to.
Yes.
So which we let them do that through writing, drawing,
Right.
things like that, but a lot of them have been words lately. It's a struggle for second
Yeah.
graders right now.
Not just second grade, the whole.
Okay.
What I'm seeing is that across the board, students are having a hard time being able to explain it in writing or even
Yes.
explain it in words. All right, so lesson 2 is they're going to continue making hundreds. And so one thing to notice when you're explaining it to students, an example would be like 30 tens make 300. So one thing I did when I taught 3rd grade, I made an anchor chart and we just went, 10 tens equals 100, 20 tens equals 200, so 30 tens equals 300.
Yeah, because that's lesson 2 here. That's all.
Mhm. So I put that on there at the bottom, an example of that, because you don't really think about teaching them that language, 30 tens equals 300.
Right.
So for every 10 tens, they compose 100.
Yes.
Add that 0.
So that's your lesson 2. And then lesson 3, they're composing 3-digit numbers.
Are we gonna get to this before the map test?
Yes.
Okay.
Very few. I think we'll only get through 3 lessons before the math test.
Okay.
Have you already picked your map dates?
Yes.
When are y'all taking map?
We are
18.
doing.
I know it's 18 our first day.
Yes.
So March the 18th?
No, they switched it because the 18th is the comprehensive school review. So I think we have to do well, she was going to check and see if we can do it. Our preferred dates are the 18th and the 20th of March. But if the comprehensive school review, if they don't allow us to do it the 18th, or if they do allow us, we'll do it then. But if they don't, then we're doing it the 20th and the 25th, which is a Thursday and then the following Tuesday.
Okay, and so I'm going to put that on your agenda too.
Okay.
You said 20th and 25th?
Yes, 20th and 25th.
Okay, but you want to do it March the
Preferred
18th?
the 18th and 20th.
18th and
But with
20th.
CSS being here, we're not sure. Because if a problem comes up, they don't know if they'll be able to come to us. They need to be with
Okay.
CSR, sorry.
Okay, so today's March the 6th. So yeah, that gives you all a little time to dig into this.
Yeah, well, we take our unit assessment next week, and then we ask for permission for 3 days of review before MAP. So we're gonna use 3 days of review.
Okay, I'm gonna put that on there too. So your next steps would be, I'll put on your agenda for next steps will be plan for section B, lessons 8 through 14. Plan for your math centers. There are 2 lessons that are center days, lesson 7 and lesson 13. but it does say that those center days are optional based on what you guys see. So like if you see that, you know, based on how they're doing the lessons, if you need to pull some small groups or use that center day to, so just base it on that. And then I'm also putting on here that you're going to be preparing for spring map, and that you said 3 days of review, Ms. Rickenwald?
Yes,
Okay. Okay, 3 days of review. And when I was talking to Thomas, she said that you all were going to try to introduce some concepts that you won't get to just yet, time and money.
Yes, like definitely within
money,
time.
Yeah.
Fractions a little bit so that they just understand a little bit about shading, but we're not
Okay.
going to be able to go into like crazy fractions, but at least they
Just
know
in a
what it
prepared
is.
package.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so time, money, and fractions.
Mhm.
Okay.
And you said geometry too.
Geometry shapes. Mhm.
Okay.
When we're doing money, is it just the coins or the dollars too?
It's dollars too.
Okay.
And they're actually making coins, like how many coins make a dollar, like,
Right.
and you have to show like 2 different ways to make a dollar, stuff like that. But
Okay.
it's okay.
And if you're going to introduce money to them, you can correlate this to your place value when they're trading out the coins, and talk about, you know, 10 pennies, there's a dime, or you know, so you can make the connection for them with that. All right, so that takes us up to, what time do y'all have to leave?
By 12.
By 12. Okay. I won't hold y'all till 12, so y'all can take potty breaks and all that good stuff. All right, so we went up to, which lesson did we say? We stopped at lesson 3. Okay, so lesson 4. So lesson 4, this is going to be the lesson where they're going to write the 3-digit numbers. So that's when you can make sure that they have that anchor chart
Yes.
up in your room. Miss Jackson, was you in here? We talked about the anchor chart for the writing the number words. Okay. So in your folder, I put a resource in there that you can make a copy for the kids. They can have it at their seat, but then
That's
you
the
can.
only one that we make 25 copies, right? Or the one that's like has 11, 12. That's
Yes.
right,
So
yeah.
they're number words, so they'll be able to spell them
Mhm.
when they have to write out the number. So you have that in your folder, and that's going to be your.
Can I make copy all of this to Mensa? All of
No. You
She-
need that for yourself.
That's your folder. She just
Yeah.
came in here, so I let her look off yours. So that's your folder.
I'm sorry.
I can give Mensa a copy if she needs a copy.
Because she's always going, I need a copy.
Yeah, no, but she made this for us.
Okay.
Something to notice on lesson 4, you all, is that they mix the numbers up. So instead of putting like hundreds, tens, ones in order, they mix it up. So it's 70 plus 300 plus 2. So they got to understand, okay, in that, go to your hundreds, then your, well, you should really do ones first. Ones,
Right.
then tens, then hundreds. But
That's,
because they mix it up.
Okay.
Most of them got a problem on making a sentence out of like, remember the assessment we had? All of them show me how they decompose it. Basically, the operation, what 25 plus 25 was, but never ever able to add this one into a sentence. They're really even
So that's what we were talking about, that making sure that they can explain their thinking in orally and writing it in their notebook when they have to explain it in the workbooks. So
probably
just,
the one who can explain it is 2 out of 25.
yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
We got to get them all writing and being able to. So that's why I was saying, so like when you're teaching your math lesson, if you put a problem up on the board and they have their manipulatives at their desk, you can give them a chance to turn and talk to their neighbor. And if they both show that number a different way, then they can talk about it. And that way they have practice at being able to explain it, to explain their thinking. All right, so lesson 5. So they're moving on from writing the number. Then lesson 5, you're going to go into doing the expanded form. So that's good that they already have background knowledge with that, with the 2-digit number. So hopefully that won't be too difficult for them. But I did put in bold that they have to describe it in words.
Yes.
They're going to enjoy the activity on that one. Just the row the number cubes. They're going to make the biggest number possible and the smallest number possible.
So then lesson 6, that's when you're going to show them the different ways you can represent a number. So they would have already been introduced to word form. You would already introduced expanded form. And so I just put a little example of what you can make sure that you have those anchor charts in the room, which the place value and the different ways to show a number, and then your number words anchor chart. Now, when I taught 3rd grade, my kids really struggled with writing the number in words. And then I think a lot of that was just their stamina. If it's a big number, they did not want to write that out.
Right.
243, you know,
Right.
so that was difficult even for 3rd grade.
Yeah.
How are you gonna build it?
Huh?
How are you gonna build it?
I can't understand you. How are you doing it?
To
Blow it up.
blow that up to make a
I'll
poster.
either blow it up to make a poster. I can take it to the poster store and do it, or I might just make it one, like, on my own.
Or just anchor chart.
Yeah.
Does our poster maker work in the library? Is it working?
I don't
Oh,
know.
the poster
I've been
I
doing it
don't know, but-
myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
You
I made
could.
that one by myself. at
Oh,
the
okay.
store.
You can give that to Jessica in the office and tell her you want a poster,
Okay.
and she can make it for you because I don't think they want us using
All of us.
any of the machines anymore.
Poster or-
We have a poster. We have a poster
Probably all
maker.
of us need one.
Yeah, we have a poster maker in the building.
5 of us. So,
That's nice to know.
hmm
money.
Yeah.
I don't think they want y'all to know. No, I don't know.
Secret. Don't tell anybody else.
Right. Okay, so then the last lesson in section A will be lesson 7, and that's the one that's optional. And it just depends on what your kids need, and that's the center day. So, you know, if you have a group of high students that they have it, they could maybe do the centers, or maybe you can push them higher with some other activities, and that's your time to pull a small group of those that you feel like aren't getting the 3 digits. Alright. Anything else that you all can think of that we need to talk about for this section A? Or this upcoming
I think
unit?
That's good.
I think, yeah, you went over
Okay.
I think they'll like this unit. This is
everything. Yeah.
better than the last one.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
number line.
Yeah. It has gone stale.
Well, actually, you mentioned number line, so I looked ahead, and in section B, you're going to go
Uh-oh.
back to the number line. Yes. They go back to the
Alright.
number
And
line.
it
I
is
spoke too
tough.
soon.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's okay. They're getting it. They know what's up though. It's fine.
Yeah.
It goes up to 1,000.
Oh.
Oh, and one thing I didn't mention about your section A is that you can also practice the choral counting. So now they can do hundreds. So 100, 200, 300. So make sure that could be something that they do first thing in the morning, is do that choral counting.
All right.
So that's a quick little thing to get in there.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. So that really wraps us up. So again, are there any concerns that you have or anything that you need?
We can now print our own assessments, so that's good news.
Oh, you do have access now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that's a celebration. All right, so I just have for your next steps, you're going to be planning your section B next, lessons 8 through 14, looking at your center day stuff, and then preparing for MAP.
You had your access to Edmonton